Okay, here we go. One take. I'm telling a story. From the beginning, when I was young, I was born in the 60s, early 60s. I had underlying depression. I don't know if I was born with it. Is there such a thing? I don't know. I didn't show it at one point in my life when I was a spasmatron in my 9, 8, 7, 10, 11-year-old days. But it was there. Later in life, as I started to grow up and having ideas as to what I wanted to do and be, and my mind was seeking adventure and fantasizing about shit and all this kind of crap. My direction was going somewhere in a world that didn't really exist in those days or was very niche. Although in 1977, when Star Wars came out, I was 14 years old. 14 years old, 15, 14, 13 and a half, 14 years old. Which meant I could easily, if I was encouraged and I had the backing, I'm going on a tangent here, I apologize, gone into what I wanted to do, which was the special effects industry, model making and all that sort of thing in my later years, even though it was still very primitive when I graduated high school in the early 80s. But come to say, because of my family, and it was very ethnic family, very strict, but not really strict. My father was a toss-up. A lot of things he didn't care about, a lot of things he cared about. School especially, he cared about. I was destined to be something in the engineering field, maybe, but that's what I went to school for, college for, and I quickly bombed. Then I switched my major and tried to become a photographer, trying to lean towards that art. And that still wasn't working because I had all these pressures of my life. And I ended up working in the family business, which in turn itself was pressure for me. I don't know if anybody out there works for their family. Sometimes that can be the worst thing in the world. Everyone's like, oh, that's great, you got a family business, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right. It's tough. But either way, I met my wife before I married her for many, 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 many years. Met her father and became friends with him. I married her. I can't remember if this is during the time we were married or after we divorced. In other words, my wife is my friend now after we are divorced. We were good friends. But either way, I was good friends with her father. He's deceased now. We became partners in a business venture. And I did that to try to become independent from my family, thinking I can go on my own. Everything was going great. Then some things happened. Bad partners, not him. Not my father-in-law, but other issues. The whole thing went belly up. And what happened was, for me, because I failed in front of my father, who told me from the beginning, don't get involved with that shit, in his old-fashioned ways, I crashed. I had a nervous breakdown. And there is where I started seeing someone. And that was, I don't know how many years ago. That was quite a few years ago. So come to now. But in that time, I had been hoarding for 20 years plus. No, 20 years here. And another 10 in the old house. The old house was, yeah, that was a hoarding house too. I had issues. What's the matter, Duke? Someone at the door? Huh. But I'm going to do something about it now. But I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going to add to that. Wait a minute. I lost my train of thought. My dog barked because there's intruders. Intruders. It's funny. This neighborhood's so safe. Yeah. I mean, I summed it up, but that's basically it. It's just the usual life. So, I mean, and I know I'm going to get, eventually, I'm going to get comments like, oh, just get over it. Life is tough. You got to deal with it. And yeah, you know, I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that. But I had no control over my breakdown. I didn't ask for that. It just kind of happened. I didn't know what the hell was going on. It took somebody to tell me, I think you're having some sort of breakdown. You better go see someone. And I did. So there was that. It took not someone, but just myself to look around the house. Something's going on. Something's wrong. Got to deal with it. But you got to deal with it on your own terms. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If it's 10 minutes a day, 1 minute a day, whatever it is, and reward yourself. What did I do to reward myself today? I don't know. I know I'm going over my parents to celebrate New Year's tonight. But did I reward myself? Yeah, I have a last Red Bull of the day. I'm sorry, of the year. That's my New Year's resolution. No more Red Bulls. But yeah, there you go. That's it in a nutshell. I didn't want to make it too long. I mean, if you have any questions, ask. I'll tell you. But Happy New Year. Love you. Be safe. And I'll catch you later.